Hello there, pleasant folk of the internet. Welcome to another Gundam kit review. This time, instead of one of the little older kits, we've got something slightly nicer. The Strike Gundam. Because Gundam Seed is being remastered, they've brought out a load of re-released versions of the kits that came out at the time, which means that the original versions of those kits are going for dirt cheap, because they have to get rid of the stock. So I snapped up one of those a while ago, but the reason I'm doing this now is because I got this magazine, which comes with a frame of extra parts designed for use with the seed kits and frame of polycaps there. This is basically, it's a large sword, lots of optional hands, and replacement knee and shoulder joints. So I'm told those will fit on most kits in the series, but we're just using the Strike this because I happened to have it by chance, and I'm not going to buy another one just for the heck of it. Anyway, got a nice painting on the front there. Action shots of the kit. This is showing that it's compatible with the no-grade version of the same machine. You can swap out the backpacks, that's the Strike's gimmick. A couple of the other machines in the line. A few shots from the anime. And the pilot, Mr. Kiri Yamato. So inside the box, we've got a frame of polycaps, as per usual. Quite a lot more polycaps than we've been used to with the old no-grade kits. A sheet of stickers, some red parts, grey parts, a few vents and the eyes. The manual, showing painted versions of the kit on the front. A colour guide on the back so you can mix up the paint exactly the way they did. Noting the parts compatibility with the no-grade version as well. More action shots, got some poses, got some anime line art and the box art in there as well. And then 4 pages of black and white instructions. They should be fairly straightforward to follow. It's a little more complicated than the no grades, but it's a high grade, so it's still fairly simple. Got a frame of white for most of the parts of the limbs and the shield and the head and whatnot. What I like here, we've got a hand that's sculpted holding a beam saber. Now I think that's a good idea, because the beam sabers the paint always scrapes off when you take them in and out of the hand. So you're having it moulded onto a hand. Some people might not like that, but I do. I don't like the solid blade though, so I might just chop that off and put a little hole in so you can swap out a transparent blade. A plate with some grey for mechanical parts, a couple of blue bits, some red and a single yellow piece for the V-fin. These parts did have the red and the black parts for its backpack, but I already went ahead and assembled that before recording this, so I'll show you that later. Now the new frame, the grey is fairly close to the grey parts that are already on the Strike, but not exactly the same. Well, you can see the difference if you're looking at it in real life, but won't be able to when it's painted. Haha! Okay, I'm going to quickly assemble the Strike, so I'll get back to you when I've done that. And now that the Strike is all assembled, this is what we've got. So the rifle sits in his hand there, pretty loose though. Hopefully that's something the hands from the upgrade set will fix, but we'll get to that in a minute. His head will wiggle about, it's got a decent range of motion. Can turn 360, he says. Yeah, it can turn 360, but it's a bit difficult because the chin and the back of the head keep catching on the collar. Arms can move out that far. The shoulder pad moves independent of the top of the arm. So, go around all the way. Get a 90-degree bend out of the elbow. The hands, you can rotate and finagle around however you want, they're all on a polycap. His waist, got a bit of articulation. It would be able to go around 360, except for the armour bumps a bit. Front skirts are one piece. They just flip up and down. Some kits you can separate them, but you can't on the Strike, otherwise they'll just fall out. Side skirts will move out about that far. They'll wiggle back and forth. They don't open. The Strike's meant to store weapons in there, but they're really tiny, so they wouldn't be able to get that gimmick on the 1-144. Legs will move forward that far. Bring them up, make them do a high kick. The knees will bend that much, so you've got a little more than a 90-degree bend out of the legs there, with the original knees in place. Toe can point downwards. Got a double joint on the ankle, so it's got a good range of motion. It can wiggle back and forth, can rotate, like that. In terms of accessories, the shield will, with a bit of coercion, there we go, clip onto the back of the arm. It'll knock against the shoulder pad though, so be wary of that. His backpack just plugs straight into the back using there's a polycap inside the torso, so it's a decent fit and you won't wear it out by taking it in and out a lot. There are stickers that are meant to go on the backpack, but I couldn't be fucked to put them on. The engine's down below here. Fold up like that, down like that, in and out, up and down, all around the show. The beam sabers from his backpack can be taken out, and he'll hold them in his hand pretty well. I've got some clear beams left over from something else. So will they fit? They will fit. But he doesn't come with those. What he comes with, as we saw earlier, is this solid moulded toothpick beam saber hand. Ta-ta, like that. He's holding that at a bit of an angle. So yeah, it's pretty good overall. There are some colours missing, particularly on the shield. There should be like a white bit and a yellow bit, and a couple grey bits on the shoulders, and one of his V-fins should be white. Other than that though, the colour separation and detail on the legs is impressive, especially the little vents on the back that are separate pieces. The way the backpack articulates is good. These grey bits are stickers. They could tell them being separate pieces. The eyes were stickers. They stay in pretty good though. The chin mercifully was not. So that's just a little red piece, and that will stay in fine. Okay, that's the original Strike. Now let's see how he fares with the upgrade bits attached. Okay, just looking at it after we've got one of the new knees in. There isn't a lot of difference in the height, whereas the old knee can go back that far. The new knee can do pretty much a 180. So that's a lot more flexible. You can just about see it's moulded in a metallic grey like the remastered versions of the kit rather than the flat grey that this version has, but this one was on sale. So that's an easy decision to make, and it all makes no difference once it's painted. There are also these extra parts that attach onto the shoulders. What they're intended to do is to allow you to do more extreme poses with the arms. So yeah, look. It does let the arm raise a lot higher, but I don't know, it just doesn't really look very good. I mean, obviously I wouldn't really put it on if the arm's just hanging down, because then it looks really weird and disconnected from the body, but I don't know, even in the raised poses it's a little bit too far off the body, I think, for my liking. You're supposed to use the backs of the hands of the original kit with the actual hand pieces of the upgrade set, but using the Strike's hand parts, the fit is very loose. That will fall out without much provocation, and it doesn't hold the rifle any tighter than the original hands did. In fact, it's looser. I do like this little grabby hand though, even if the back cover is a bit loose. Can make the Strike look like he's reaching for things. Just to sum up the extra hand parts you get, I've taken 2 of them off the frame, but you've got 2 of these sort of grasp and claw hands, 2 of these weapon holding hands with the wrist at a slight angle, 2 entirely closed fists, so there isn't a gap, it's just entirely closed, 2 weapon holding hands with like more rounded fingers. I'm guessing those are for the Zaft suits, a closed fist for a Zaft suit, a relaxed open hand, or like a weapon supporting hand, and 2 just relaxed open hands for Gundams again. So far the new knee joints have been a hit. The shoulders, the extra shoulder bits, I'm sort of ambivalent on. I've kind of lost the run of them and I'm not even really concerned. The hands will need a little bit of work, but you can make them look good, because you've got a nice grabby pose, and I don't know how well they'd work on the other kits. I suppose it would vary quite a lot. Last thing in this set though, definitely quite cool. Yep, they've just given you a big old sword. It just folds around, flips back out. There's a little peg on the handle there, so that other grades of kit can use it. This is based on a sword that came with the 1/100 Master Grade Strike, I think, or one of the bigger Strike kits randomly had this big old sword in it with, yeah, never showed up in the show, so I don't know exactly what it's for. It's called the Grand Slam or something. And in a marketing masterstroke, this actually has pegs so that you can attach it together to other Grand Slam swords to make an even bigger sword. Oh, but you only get 1 Grand Slam sword in the set. They couldn't be encouraging you to buy multiple copies of the same magazine, could they? Oh, Japan. Not getting me that easily. Yeah, 1 sword. Plenty enough. It's got nice smooth edge. It's a little child safety bit you need to trim off the tip. But it looks good, and the Strike's original hand holds it fairly securely. So I'm happy with that. Possibly even just as an alternative to its beam rifle. So that's it for the Strike and the upgrade set. And I will see you all at the next review.